The hallway stretched before her like polished glass, marble floors gleaming under crystal chandeliers that belonged in a palace, not a school. Eleanora's footsteps echoed softly as she walked, her long black curls bouncing against her spine with each measured step. The whispers started immediately. Georgia Basso? Who is she? Is she new? Students lined the pristine corridor, their conversations dying mid-sentence. Phones emerged from pockets, camera apps opening. She felt their stares like physical touches. Curious, shocked, fascinated. Her warm brown skin seemed to glow under the golden light, a beautiful contrast in the sea of uniformity. The expensive uniform, tailored navy blazer with gold-embroidered emblems, crisp white shirt, pleated skirt, felt foreign against her skin, but she wore it with her chin up, her stride confident even as her heart hammered. You belong here. You earned this. A group of girls stood clustered near expensive lockers. One of them, stunning with vibrant red hair styled in perfect waves, locked eyes with Eleanora. Her gaze was ice-cold, assessing, immediately hostile. Her uniform was tailored to perfection, designer shoes peeking out, everything about her screaming wealth and status. Eleanora looked away first, focusing on the classroom numbers she'd memorized. Room 304. She was so focused on finding it that she didn't see him until it was too late. The collision wasn't hard, but it sent the books she'd been clutching tumbling to the marble floor with sharp slaps that echoed through the suddenly silent hallway. Oh, I'm so sorry. Eleanora dropped to her knees, scrambling to gather her scattered materials. No, it's my fault. I wasn't looking. The voice was gentle, warm. Hands reached down to help, and when she looked up, she found herself staring into the kindest brown eyes she'd ever seen. He had soft brown hair that fell across his forehead in that effortlessly perfect way. His uniform was immaculate but worn with casual ease. When he smiled, his whole face transformed. Warm, genuine, completely disarming. "You're new," he said, handing her the last of her books. "That obvious?" She accepted his help standing, tucking a curl behind her ear. "Just a little." His smile widened. "I'm Min Chu. Eleanora Diggs. American. Guilty as charged. Exchange program. Scholarship." His eyebrows rose, impressed. "That's amazing. Those scholarships are incredibly competitive. You must be brilliant." Heat crept up her neck. "I just worked hard, I guess." "Move along. You're blocking the hallway." The red-haired girl stood behind them, flanked by two other perfectly polished students. Up close, she was even more stunning. Porcelain skin, makeup applied with professional precision, eyes that could cut glass. "Min Chu said, his warmth evaporating. I don't care what you were doing." Her gaze raked over Eleanora with barely concealed disdain. "Some of us have class to get to." She swept past, her expensive perfume lingering like a threat. One of her crew, accidentally, slammed into Eleanora's shoulder hard enough to make her stumble. Min Chu's hand shot out to steady her, his jaw tightening. "Don't mind her. Min thinks she owns this place." "Does she?" "Her father's on the board of directors, so..." "Kind of." He offered an apologetic smile. "But don't let her intimidate you." "What class are you looking for?" "Room 304. Advanced Literature." "Perfect. I'm headed that way too. Come on." As they walked together, Eleanora noticed how other students watched. Some curious, others calculating, assessing where she fit in this world of privilege. "Thank you," she said when they reached the classroom. "For being kind. For helping me." "Of course." His smile was soft, genuine. "If you need anything, and I mean anything, just find me. Okay?" The bell rang, sharp and demanding. "See you inside?" he asked. She nodded, watching him disappear through the door. Taking a deep breath, Eleanora adjusted her bag and ran her fingers through her curls one last time. Through the window, she could see rows of expensive desks, designer uniforms, a world she'd only dreamed of. "Here goes nothing." She pushed open the door. But that wasn't where it really started. 48 hours earlier, in a tiny apartment that smelled like home, Eleanora sat on her bed, the acceptance letter spread before her like a golden ticket. Seoul International Academy, full scholarship recipient. Baby, I still can't believe it. Her mother stood in the doorway, tears streaming freely down her face. Korea, one of the most prestigious schools in the world. Mom, please don't cry again. Eleonora laughed, though her own eyes burned. You're going to make me start. I'm allowed to cry. Do you know how proud I am? Her mother crossed the room and pulled her into a fierce hug. All those late nights studying, all those hours at the library, it paid off, baby. It all paid off. Eleonora breathed in her mother's familiar scent. Cocoa butter and vanilla, home and safety and unconditional love. I'm scared, she whispered into her mother's shoulder. I know, baby. I know. Her mother pulled back, cupping Eleonora's face in her hands. But you're also brave and brilliant, and you're going to show those kids exactly what you're made of. What if I don't fit in? Then they're the ones missing out. Her mother's voice was fierce. You earned this spot. Not because of charity, not because of diversity quotas, because you're smarter and worked harder than everyone else. Don't you ever forget that. I won't, Mama. Promise me you'll call every day. I promise. And if anyone gives you trouble, I'll handle it. I always do. Her mother's eyes glistened. When did you get so grown? I learned from the best. The next 2 days blurred together, packing her entire life into 2 suitcases, saying goodbye to friends who promised to stay in touch. Her mother's tears at the airport, holding her so tight she could barely breathe. I love you so much, baby. I love you too, Mama. I'll make you proud. You already have. The flight was endless. 14 hours of restless sleep, movies she couldn't focus on, meals that tasted like cardboard. When the plane finally touched down at Incheon International Airport, reality crashed over her. I'm really here. I'm actually in Korea. The airport was massive, overwhelming. Signs in Korean and English pointed in every direction. Announcements in languages she didn't understand echoed through the terminals. People rushed past speaking rapid Korean, and Eleonora felt suddenly, desperately small. But she'd made it this far. She could do this. The taxi ride through Seoul stole her breath. Neon signs blazing against the night sky, towering buildings that seemed to touch the clouds, streets packed with life even at midnight. It was nothing like home. Everything was faster, brighter, more intense. The dormitory was nicer than anywhere she'd ever lived. Modern, clean, with amenities that felt almost obscene. Her room was small but perfectly appointed, with a view of the Seoul skyline that made her chest tight. That night, she stood at her window, looking out at the glittering city, and felt the weight of opportunity settle on her shoulders. Tomorrow, she would walk through the gates of Seoul International Academy. Tomorrow, everything would change. She just had no idea how much. Morning arrived too quickly. Eleonora spent an hour on her hair, making sure each curl was defined, perfect. Another 30 minutes on her uniform, making sure everything was just right. The girl staring back from the mirror looked confident, composed, ready. She hoped it wasn't just a mask. The walk to school made her heart pound with each step. The buildings grew more impressive, luxury apartments giving way to boutiques and cafes. Then finally to the sprawling campus of Seoul International Academy. She stopped at the main gates. Ornate ironwork gleamed in the morning sun. The school's crest worked into the metal with obvious care. Beyond it, students climbed out of chauffeur-driven cars, laughing and talking with the casual confidence of people who'd never worried about money. Eleonora's fingers tightened on her bag straps. You earned this. You belong here. She took a deep breath and stepped through the gates. The main building was glass and chrome, modern architecture that looked more like a corporate headquarters than a school. Manicured gardens lined the pathways. A fountain sparkled in the courtyard. Everything screamed wealth, privilege, exclusivity. Inside, the marble hallway stretched endlessly before her. And that's when it really began. When students stopped and stared. When whispers followed her like shadows. When her long black curls announced her arrival, catching the light, making her impossible to ignore. When she walked with her head high, trying to look like she belonged in this world of designer uniforms and casual wealth. When she collided with Min Chu and saw kindness in his warm brown eyes. When Min Seo looked at her with ice-cold hatred. when everything started spiraling into something she couldn't control. Her first day at Seoul International Academy. The day that changed everything. The classroom fell silent when Eleonora walked in. Every head turned. Conversations died mid-sentences. The teacher, Mrs. Kong, with sharp eyes and perfect hair, paused her writing. "You must be our exchange student. Miss Diggs." "Correct." "Yes, ma'am. Welcome to Advanced Literature. Class, this is Eleonora Diggs from America." She gestured toward the rows. "There's an empty seat in the back, next to Min Chu." Relief flooded through her. At least one friendly face. Min Chu smiled as she sat down. "Told you I'd see you inside. Lucky me." Mrs. Kong launched into Korean literature, switching between Korean and English. Eleonora tried to focus, but she felt every stare on her back. When the bell rang, she released a breath. "How was it?" Min Chu asked. "Terrifying." He laughed. "It gets easier." "What's next?" "Calculus. Room 217. I'll walk you. It's on my way." In the hallway, students moved around them, watching. "Does everyone speak English?" she asked. "Most do. International curriculum." He smiled. "Don't worry. Just ask for help if you need it." They passed Minseo and her crew. The icy stare followed them. "Just ignore her," Min Chu said quietly. Calculus was easier, numbers needed no translation. By lunch, Eleonora felt almost normal. The cafeteria was enormous, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking gardens. Students clustered in obvious hierarchies. She grabbed a tray, accepting the cafeteria worker's recommendation of bibimbap, then scanned for Min Chu. He was nowhere. Every table seemed full, claimed. She headed toward an empty table in the back, trying to look confident. The whispers followed. "She's eating alone? So awkward." She set down her tray, pulled out her phone, pretending to be engrossed. "This seat taken?" She looked up, expecting Min Chu. It wasn't. The boy was stunning, tall, black hair perfectly styled, a face that belonged on magazine covers. His uniform was immaculate, worn with careless elegance. His eyes were dark, intense, unreadable. The entire cafeteria went silent. No, it's not taken." He sat across from her with fluid grace. "You're the transfer student." Not a question. His English was flawless. "Eleonora. And you are." A slight smile. "Lee Tae-ho." Whispers exploded around them. "Is that Lee Tae-ho? Why is he sitting with her?" "Minseo is going to lose it." Eleonora glanced around, then back. "I feel like I'm missing something. Or something." His smile widened slightly. "How's your first day?" "Honestly, pretty terrible." "Because of Minseo? How did you know?" "Minseo makes everyone's life terrible. It's her specialty." He picked up his chopsticks. "Don't take it personally. Hard not to. She's threatened by you." His dark eyes studied her. "It's obvious. Everyone keeps saying that. Don't you?" The intensity of his gaze made her stomach flip. "You walk in looking like that, being different, interesting. Of course she's threatened." Heat crept up her neck. She looked down. "If you stay close to me, people will target you," he said quietly. "This school has rules, hierarchies." Before she could ask what that meant, footsteps approached. Min Chu stood there holding his tray, his expression tight. "Tae-ho, didn't expect to see you in the cafeteria." "Min Chu." Tae-ho's voice cooled. "Didn't realize I needed permission." The tension was immediate, sharp. "I was coming to sit with Eleonora," Min Chu said carefully. "And yet you're late. I got here first." "There's room for both," Eleonora said quickly. Min Chu sat beside her. The silence was suffocating. "You two know each other?" she asked. "Everyone knows everyone," Min Chu said, not looking at Tae-ho. "We have history," Tae-ho added. "Don't we? Ancient history. Is it? Feels pretty current." "Okay. What am I missing?" Eleonora set down her chopsticks. The temperature just dropped 20 degrees. Neither answered. "Great. I'm caught in something I don't understand." She stood, grabbing her tray. "I'll eat somewhere else." "Eleonora, wait." Min Chu reached for her. "Don't go," Tae-ho said quietly. She looked between them. Then both of you stop whatever this is. I've had enough drama. Taeho and Minchu exchanged a long look. Finally, Taeho stood. You're right. This isn't the place. He looked at Eleonora. I apologize. That wasn't my intention. You're leaving. For now. His gaze held hers. But I'll see you around, Eleonora Diggs. The way he said her name sent shivers down her spine. He walked away. The cafeteria noise resumed. Whispers, speculation, phones recording. Eleonora sat heavily. What was that? Minchu ran a hand through his hair. It's complicated. So everyone keeps saying. Taeho and I have a difficult relationship. His eyes were apologetic. I'm sorry you got caught in it. He doesn't usually interact with new students. Then why did he? Because you're different. Special. Minchu hesitated. Just be careful around him. Okay? Taeho isn't who he seems. He's dangerous. And who is he? Someone you should stay away from. Lunch passed quietly. Minchu tried lightening the mood, making her laugh despite everything. But she couldn't stop thinking about Taeho's intense gaze. When the bell rang, Minchu walked her to history. I'll meet you after school. Show you around the neighborhood. You don't have to. I want to. His smile was warm. If you need anything, I'm here. He squeezed her hand before leaving. She turned toward class and nearly collided with Mincio. The red-haired girl blocked the doorway, arms crossed. We need to talk, Mincio said coldly. Now. Mincio grabbed Eleonora's wrist and pulled her away from the history classroom into an empty hallway. Her two friends blocked any escape. Let go of me, Eleonora said, yanking her arm free. Listen very carefully. I don't know what game you think you're playing, but it ends now. I'm not playing any game. I'm just trying to get through my first day. By having lunch with Lee Taeho? Mincio's voice rose. Do you have any idea who he is? Apparently someone important. He's untouchable. And he's mine. Mincio's eyes flashed. We have history. Everyone knows we're meant to be together. And then you show up, and suddenly he's in the cafeteria for the first time in months? Talking to you? I didn't ask him to sit with me. I don't care. Mincio jabbed a finger at her chest. Stay away from him. Stay away from Minchu too. Stay in your lane and remember you're only here because of charity. Heat flared in Eleonora's chest. I earned my scholarship. And you can earn your way right back to America if you don't listen. My father controls this school. One word from me, and your scholarship disappears. You're threatening me? On my first day. I'm warning you. Be smart, scholarship girl. Know your place. Mincio walked away, her friends following like shadows. Eleonora stood there shaking. Not from fear, but anger. Eleonora? She spun around. Minchu stood at the end of the hallway, concern all over his face. I saw Mincio drag you away. What did she say? Did she hurt you? Just threaten my scholarship if I don't stay away from certain people. That's bullshit. His gentle demeanor cracked. She can't do that. She seemed pretty serious. She's jealous. That's all. His hand touched her shoulder. You didn't do anything wrong. Then why does it feel like I've already made enemies? This school is complicated. People are territorial. He guided her to a bench near the windows. Sit with me for a minute. They sat, and through the windows, she could see the perfect campus. Manicured gardens, fountains, the beautiful facade hiding everything ugly underneath. Thank you for checking on me, for being kind when everyone else is. Being terrible? He smiled. You don't have to thank me for basic human decency. It feels rare here. It is. He sat close, their shoulders almost touching. This school brings out the worst in people. All the wealth, the pressure. It makes everyone forget how to be human. But not you. I try not to. His brown eyes met hers. My family has money, sure, but that doesn't mean I have to be an asshole about it. She laughed despite everything. They sat in comfortable silence. Minchu's presence was soothing, warm, gentle, safe. So different from Taeho's intensity. Can I ask you something? Eleonora said. Anything. What's the deal with you and Taeho? The tension at lunch was intense. Minchu's expression darkened. We used to be friends, close friends. But things changed. What things? He changed. He became someone I didn't recognize. Someone I couldn't trust anymore. That's pretty vague. I know. And I'm sorry. He turned to face her. But trust me when I say you should be careful around him. Tae-ho is dangerous in ways you can't see yet. Everyone keeps saying that, but no one will tell me why. Because some things are better not knowing. His hand found hers. Just promise me you'll be careful. Please. The concern in his eyes was so genuine she nodded. Okay, I promise. Good. He squeezed her hand, then checked his phone. We're already 10 minutes late for class. Wanna skip and let me show you the rooftop? Best view in Seoul. Skip class on my first day? Live a little. His smile was playful. What are they going to do? She laughed. You're a bad influence. The best kind. Come on. Trust me. She followed him up 3 flights of stairs to a door marked Roof Access. Authorized personnel only. Min-chu pushed it open like he owned the place. The rooftop stole her breath. Seoul stretched endlessly, buildings, mountains in the distance, sky so blue it hurt. The city noise was muted up here. Wow. Right? Min-chu leaned against the railing. I come here when I need to think. She joined him, and for a moment she could forget everything. Min-seo's threats, Tae-ho's intensity, being the outsider. Thank you. I needed this. Anytime. He turned to her, his expression shifting. Can I be honest about something? Of course. I know we just met this morning. I know this is crazy. But there's something about you. Something that makes me want to protect you from all the ugliness here. Does that make sense? Her heart fluttered. Yeah, it does. Good. Because I meant what I said. If you need anything, anything at all, I'm here. His hand covered hers on the railing. You're not alone in this place, Eleonora. The moment stretched between them, warm and safe. Then the rooftop door slammed open. Tae-ho stood in the doorway, his expression cold. How predictable. Bringing her to your spot already, Min-chu. Min-chu's hand tightened on Eleonora's. We're just talking. Not that it's any of your business. Everything involving her is my business. Tae-ho stepped onto the rooftop. His dark eyes locked on Eleonora. We need to talk. Alone. She doesn't want to talk to you, Min-chu said, stepping in front of her. Let her speak for herself. Tae-ho's gaze never left Eleonora's. Do you want to talk to me? Her mouth went dry. The intensity in his eyes was overwhelming, dangerous, magnetic. She felt pulled toward him despite every warning. I don't know. Honest answer. I appreciate that. Tae-ho's lips curved slightly. But I wasn't really asking. He moved closer, and Min-chu immediately blocked his path. Don't what? Talk to her? Get to know her. Tae-ho's smile sharpened. You don't own her, Min-chu. And you think you do? I think she can make her own decisions. Tae-ho's eyes flicked to Eleonora. Can't you? The tension was suffocating. Eleonora felt caught between 2 opposing forces. Stop. Both of you. She stepped between them. I'm not some prize you're fighting over. No one said you were. Tae-ho replied smoothly. Then stop acting like it. She turned to Min-chu. Thank you for bringing me up here. But I can handle this. Eleonora. Please. Min-chu's jaw clenched, but he nodded. He shot Tae-ho one more warning look before heading to the door. I'll be right downstairs if you need me. The door closed, leaving her alone with Tae-ho. Silence stretched between them. You wanted to talk. So talk. Tae-ho moved to the railing, looking out over Seoul. Do you know why I sat with you at lunch? You said I was interesting. You are. But that's not the only reason. He turned to face her. I sat with you because the moment I saw you in that hallway, I knew you were going to change everything. That's dramatic. Maybe. But it's true. He stepped closer. You're different from everyone here. Real. Unafraid. You don't play the games. I don't know the games. Exactly. He was close now. And that makes you dangerous. Me? Dangerous. To the status quo. To people like Min-seo. To people like Min-chu who think they can protect you. His dark eyes held hers. To me. Her breath caught. Why would I be dangerous to you? Because you make me want things I shouldn't want. His fingers barely brushed a curl that had fallen across her face. The touch was electric. Because you make me forget why I keep people at a distance. Tae-ho. Stay close to me, Eleonora. This school isn't safe. Not for someone like you. His voice dropped. You need someone who can protect you. Really protect you. And you think that's you? I know it is. His thumb traced her jawline, and she couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Let me keep you safe. From what? His eyes darkened. From everything. They stood frozen, his hand on her face. The air charged between them. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. His lips were inches from hers when the rooftop door burst open. Eleonora. There you are. A teacher stood in the doorway, flustered. You're supposed to be in history. Both of you. Principal's office. Now. Tae-ho stepped back smoothly. Of course. We were just heading down. But as he walked past Eleonora, he leaned in close enough to whisper, "This isn't over." Then he was gone, leaving her standing there with weak knees and a racing heart. The principal's office was exactly what Eleonora expected. Mahogany furniture, leather chairs, walls lined with awards and photos of distinguished alumni. Principal Kim, a stern woman in her 50s with perfectly styled hair, looked at them over her glasses. Miss Diggs, Mr. Lee. Her voice was crisp, disapproving. Care to explain why you were on the roof during class time? My fault entirely, Tae-ho said smoothly before Eleonora could speak. I told Miss Diggs that the roof was an approved study area. She's new and didn't know better. Principal Kim's expression softened slightly when she looked at Tae-ho. I see. And you, Mr. Lee? What's your excuse? Showing our new student around. Making sure she feels welcome. His smile was charming, calculated. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Not during class time. But her tone lacked real bite. Miss Diggs, consider this a warning. The roof is off-limits to students. Mr. Lee should have known better than to take you there. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. You're dismissed. Both of you. Get to your next class. They left the office together, walking down the empty hallway in silence. When they were far enough away, Eleonora stopped. You didn't have to cover for me. Yes, I did. Tae-ho's expression was serious. You're on scholarship. A violation on your first day could jeopardize that. I can afford to break rules. You can't. The truth of it stung. Thank you. Don't thank me. He studied her face. Just remember what I said. Stay close to me. Let me protect you. Before she could respond, he walked away, leaving her standing alone in the hallway. The confrontation came during the break between classes. Eleonora was at her locker, organizing her books for the afternoon, when she felt a presence behind her. She turned to find Minseo standing there, arms crossed, her two friends flanking her like bodyguards. We need to talk, Minseo said, her voice sharp and cold. I don't think we have anything to talk about. Oh, we do. Minseo stepped closer, invading her space. About you throwing yourself at Lee Tae-ho. I didn't throw myself at anyone. He sat with me at lunch. I didn't invite him. Don't play innocent with me. Minseo's red hair seemed to flame under the hallway lights. I saw the way you looked at him. The way you let him get close to you on the rooftop. You were spying on me? Everyone saw. The whole school is talking about it. Minseo's voice dropped to something dangerous. Do you know how long I've waited for Tae-ho to notice me? How many years I've spent making myself perfect for him? That's not my problem. It is now. Minseo grabbed Eleonora's blazer, yanking her closer. Stay away from him. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. Lee Tae-ho is mine. He's always been mine. And some scholarship nobody from America isn't going to change that. Let go of me. Eleonora tried to pull away, but Minseo's grip tightened. Or what? You'll report me? Who do you think they'll believe? The board member's daughter or the charity case? Minseo's smile was cruel. I can make your life hell, Eleonora. I can turn every single person in this school against you. I can make sure you have no friends, no allies, nothing. You'll be so miserable you'll beg to go back to America. I said let go. Eleonora's voice was steel now. Make me. She doesn't have to. I will. Min Chu appeared beside them, his gentle face harder than Eleonora had ever seen it. He grabbed Min Sio's wrist, not roughly, but firmly enough to make her release Eleonora. Don't touch her again, Min Chu said quietly, but there was an edge to his voice that made Min Sio step back. Min Chu, I was just threatening her. I heard everything. His brown eyes were cold. Leave, now, before I report you to Principal Kim for harassment. Min Sio's face flushed with anger and embarrassment. You're choosing her over me? We've known each other for years. And in all those years, I've watched you bully anyone who doesn't fit your perfect little world. Min Chu stepped between Eleonora and Min Sio protectively. Eleonora hasn't done anything to you. Leave her alone. You'll regret this, Min Sio hissed. Both of you. She stormed off, her friends scrambling to follow, leaving whispers and stares in their wake. Eleonora released a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. Her hands were shaking. Are you okay? Min Chu asked immediately, his harshness melting back into concern. Did she hurt you? No, I'm fine. Just. She leaned against her locker. God, what is wrong with her? She's used to getting everything she wants. You're threatening that. His hand touched her shoulder gently. I'm sorry. I should have warned you she might try something. You can't protect me from everything. I can try. His brown eyes were earnest, warm. Come on. Let's get out of this hallway. Too many people watching. He guided her toward a quieter corridor near the library. Students were sparse here, most of them already in their next classes. Thank you, Eleonora said, for standing up for me. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. He turned to face her fully. Min Sio had no right to treat you that way. No one does. She really hates me. She's jealous. There's a difference. He smiled softly. She sees what everyone else sees, that you're special, different, and she can't stand not being the center of attention. I don't want to be the center of attention. I just want to get through school. I know. His hand found hers warm and comforting. And I'm going to help you do that. I promise. The way he looked at her made her chest tight. So genuine, so caring, like she actually mattered to him, even though they just met this morning. Why are you being so nice to me? She asked quietly. Because. He hesitated, a slight blush coloring his cheeks. Because from the moment we bumped into each other this morning, I felt something, like I was supposed to meet you, like you were supposed to be here. He laughed self-consciously. I know that sounds crazy. No, it doesn't. Her heart fluttered. It sounds nice. Yeah. His smile widened, hopeful. Yeah. They stood there, hands linked, the moment stretching between them, soft, warm, safe. So different from the intensity of Taeho's gaze, the danger that seemed to follow him. Min Chu was safety, kindness, everything normal and good. I should get you to your next class, he said reluctantly. What do you have? Art. Room 108. Perfect. That's near my physics class. Come on. They walked together through the quiet hallways, and Min Chu told her about his favorite art teacher, about the projects they'd work on, making her laugh and forget about Min Sio's threats. When they reached her classroom, he squeezed her hand one more time. If she bothers you again, or if anyone bothers you, you come find me. Okay? Okay. I mean it, Eleonora. You're not alone here. Thank you, Min Chu. Really. He smiled that soft, genuine smile and headed toward his own class. Eleonora watched him go, feeling lighter than she had all day. Maybe the school wouldn't be so bad after all. Art class was a welcome reprieve. The teacher, Mrs. Park, was enthusiastic and kind, immediately putting Eleonora at ease. They were starting a unit on perspective drawing, and Eleonora lost herself in the simple pleasure of sketching, of creating something with her hands. For 50 minutes, she forgot about drama and tension and threatening mean girls. When the bell rang for the final period, she gathered her supplies reluctantly. You have natural talent, Mrs. Park said, looking at Eleonora's sketch. I look forward to seeing more of your work. Thank you, Mrs. Park. Eleonora headed toward her locker to switch out books for her last class, history. The hallways were crowded again, students rushing between rooms, the energy chaotic. She was pulling books from her locker when she noticed something odd. Through the main entrance windows, she could see the circular driveway where parents and drivers picked up students. Several black cars were parked there, expensive, sleek, with tinted windows. Men in dark suits stood beside them, not like drivers waiting for students, but like security, like guards. More students were whispering, pointing toward the windows. "What's going on?" Eleonora asked a girl standing nearby. The girl glanced at her, then back at the windows. "I don't know, but those cars have been there for the last 20 minutes. Those men too. Are they always here?" "No, never." The girl lowered her voice. "They look dangerous." A chill ran down Eleonora's spine. She moved closer to the windows, trying to get a better look. That's when she saw him. Taeho stood near the main entrance, just outside the school doors. He was talking to three of the men in suits, talking seriously, his expression cold and commanding. One of the men handed him something. Another bowed slightly, deferentially. It wasn't the interaction of a student and adults. It was the interaction of someone in charge. Someone with power. "Who are those men?" Eleonora asked the girl beside her. "I don't know, but they only show up when..." The girl trailed off, uncomfortable. "When what?" "When something serious is happening. Something to do with Taeho's family." The girl looked nervous even talking about it. "People don't ask questions. It's safer that way." The girl hurried away, leaving Eleonora staring out the window. Taeho finished his conversation and one of the men handed him a phone. He listened to whoever was on the other end, his expression darkening. Then he said something sharp, handed the phone back, and walked toward one of the black cars. But before he got in, he turned. His eyes scanned the windows, and somehow, impossibly, they found hers. Even from this distance, the intensity of his gaze made her breath catch. He stared at her for a long moment, his expression unreadable. Then he got into the car and it drove away, the other vehicles following in formation. The whispers around Eleonora grew louder. "Did you see that? Why were they here? Something's happening. Something big." Eleonora's hands trembled as she closed her locker. Who is he really? Minseo's fear. Minchu's warnings. The way everyone treated Taeho like he was untouchable. The cold command in his voice when he told her to stay close to him. That the school wasn't safe. He wasn't talking about bullies or social hierarchies. He was talking about something else entirely. Something dangerous. Something real. History class dragged on forever. Eleonora couldn't focus. Couldn't stop thinking about those black cars. Those men in suits. The way Taeho had commanded them like it was natural. "Stay close to me. This school isn't safe." What did he mean? What was he involved in? When the final bell rang, relief flooded through her. She gathered her things quickly, desperate to get back to her dorm, to process everything, to figure out what the hell was going on. The hallways were packed with students eager to leave, chattering about homework and weekend plans. Eleonora pushed through the crowd toward the exit. Outside, the late afternoon sun painted everything golden. Most of the black cars were gone now, but Eleonora noticed one still parked across the street. Waiting, she hurried toward the main gates, keeping her head down. "Eleonora, wait up!" Minchu jogged toward her, his bag bouncing against his hip. "Hey, wanna grab coffee? There's a great place I wanted to show you." She glanced at the black car, then back at Minchu's open, friendly face. "Actually, I'm pretty tired. Maybe another day." "Oh, sure, of course." He looked disappointed but understanding. "Want me to walk you back to your dorm at least?" "No, it's okay. I'll be fine." "You sure?" "Yeah. I just need some time to think." She managed a smile. "But thank you for everything today. You've been amazing." His face lit up. "Anytime. Text me when you get back safely." "I will." She watched him walk away, then started toward her dorm. But her feet didn't take her toward the dorm. Instead, almost without conscious thought, she found herself following the route the black cars had taken. This is stupid. This is dangerous. Turn around. But she couldn't. She needed to know. Needed to understand who Lee Taeho really was. She followed the direction they'd gone, staying on busy streets. After 15 minutes, she found herself in a different part of Seoul. still upscale but more industrial. Fewer shops, more warehouses. And there, at the end of a narrow street, were the black cars, parked outside what looked like an abandoned warehouse. Men in suits stood guard at the entrance. Eleonora's heart pounded. She should leave. She should turn around and forget she ever saw this. But she moved closer, ducking behind a parked truck to stay hidden. Through a grimy warehouse window, she could see movement inside. Shadows. People. She crept closer, her pulse racing, until she could see more clearly. And what she saw made her blood run cold. Tae-ho stood in the center of the warehouse, surrounded by at least 20 men. But his posture had changed completely. Gone was the charming student, replaced by someone cold, commanding, dangerous. He was talking to a man kneeling on the ground. The man's face was bloodied, terrified. Tae-ho said something. The man shook his head desperately. Tae-ho nodded to one of his men. The man was hit hard enough that he crumpled. Eleonora's hand flew to her mouth, stifling a gasp. Tae-ho crouched down, grabbing the injured man's face, forcing him to look up. He said something else. His expression utterly cold, completely devoid of the warmth he'd shown her earlier. This wasn't a student. This was someone else entirely. Someone dangerous. Someone in control of something dark and violent. Oh my God. Who is he? Her phone buzzed in her pocket, loud in the quiet street. She fumbled for it, trying to silence it, but it was too late. One of the guards had heard. He turned toward her hiding spot, his hand moving inside his jacket. Nuguseo? He called out. Who's there? Eleonora's heart stopped. She pressed herself against the truck, barely breathing, praying he hadn't actually seen her. The guard started walking toward her position. Run. You need to run. Now. But before she could move, another voice called out from inside the warehouse. Tae-ho's voice. Sharp. Commanding. The guard stopped, turned back, responding to whatever order Tae-ho had given. Eleonora didn't wait. She turned and ran. She ran back toward the main street, her heart pounding, her breath coming in gasps. She didn't stop until she reached a busy intersection with people and traffic and safety. Only then did she stop, leaning against a building trying to catch her breath. Her phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. Unknown, you shouldn't have followed me. Now we need to talk. Tomorrow. Alone. Don't tell anyone what you saw. T. Her hands shook so badly she almost dropped the phone. He knew. He knew she'd been there. He'd seen her. And now she was caught in something she didn't understand. Something dangerous. Something that made her first day at Seoul International Academy look like child's play. Eleonora didn't sleep that night. She lay in her dorm bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything over and over. The warehouse, the bloodied man, Tae-ho's cold expression, the absolute command in his posture. The text message burned in her mind. Don't tell anyone what you saw. She wanted to call her mother. She wanted to call the police. She wanted to pack her bags and get on the next flight home. But something kept her frozen. Fear, maybe, or curiosity, or the dangerous pull she felt toward Tae-ho despite everything she'd witnessed. Who is he really? By the time morning light filtered through her window, she'd made her decision. She was going to meet him. She had to know the truth. School felt different on her second day. The stairs were still there, but now they felt heavier, more knowing. Like everyone could see that she'd crossed some invisible line. Min-chu found her at her locker before first period. Hey, I texted you last night, but you didn't respond. Everything okay? His smile was warm, concerned. Yeah, sorry. I just crashed early. Exhausted from the first day. Understandable. He leaned against the locker next to hers. Want to have lunch together today? I promise no drama this time. Actually, She hesitated. I might need to skip lunch. I have to take care of something. Oh, okay. He looked disappointed but didn't push. Well, if you change your mind, I'll save you a seat. Thanks, Min-chu. He lingered for a moment like he wanted to say something else, then seemed to think better of it. See you in lit class? Yeah. See you. She watched him walk away, guilt twisting in her stomach. He'd been nothing but kind to her, and here she was, lying to him. But what choice did she have? The morning classes passed in a blur. Eleonora couldn't focus on anything except the approaching lunch hour. When the bell finally rang, her heart started racing. Her phone buzzed. Rooftop. Now, she grabbed her bag and headed for the stairs, her legs feeling like lead with each step. The hallways were crowded with students heading to the cafeteria, no one paying attention to her. She pushed through the roof access door. Tae-ho stood at the far railing, his back to her, looking out over Seoul. He was still in his school uniform, but somehow he looked different now. Dangerous, like the mask he wore at school was slipping. "Close the door," he said without turning around. She did, her hands trembling. "You followed me yesterday," still not looking at her. "Why? I needed to know who you really are. And now you do." He turned finally, his dark eyes meeting hers. "So tell me, Eleonora, what are you going to do about it?" "I don't know. You should run." He moved toward her slowly, deliberately. "You should transfer schools, go back to America. Forget you ever came here. That would be the smart thing to do." "Is that what you want me to do?" "What I want doesn't matter." He stopped a few feet away. "What matters is keeping you safe. And being around me? That's the opposite of safe." "Then why did you text me? Why did you want to meet?" "Because you deserve the truth." His jaw tightened. "You deserve to know exactly what you've gotten yourself into by catching my attention. So tell me, who are you really, Lee Tae-ho?" He was quiet for a long moment, studying her face like he was memorizing it. "My father runs one of the most powerful organizations in Seoul," he said finally. "The kind of organization that operates in shadows, that controls territories, businesses, politicians. The kind that makes problems disappear." Eleonora's breath caught. "You mean the Korean Mafia?" "Yes." His voice was matter-of-fact, cold. "And I'm being groomed to take over when he steps down. Everything you saw yesterday, that's my life. That's my world." The confirmation made her knees weak. Part of her had hoped she'd misunderstood, that there was some other explanation. But no, Lee Tae-ho was exactly what everyone had warned her about. Dangerous, powerful, deadly. "The man in the warehouse," she whispered. "What did he do?" "He stole from us, betrayed us." Tae-ho's expression didn't change. "He was being taught a lesson. You hurt him. I did what was necessary. No remorse, no apology. That's the world I live in, Eleonora. There are rules, consequences, blood and loyalty and power. It's not pretty. It's not safe. And it's definitely not for someone like you. Someone like me? Someone good, pure, innocent." Something flickered in his eyes, regret, maybe. Someone who still believes in right and wrong without all the gray in between. "You think there's no right and wrong in what you do?" "I think survival doesn't care about morality." He stepped closer. "I think when you're born into this world, you don't get to choose. You either adapt or you die. You could leave. You could choose something different." He laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You really don't understand. There is no leaving. This is who I am. Who I'll always be." Eleonora's mind raced. Everything was too much, too big, too dangerous, too far beyond anything she'd ever experienced. "You should stay away from me," he continued. "Forget this conversation happened. Go back to being invisible. Safe. I'll make sure no one bothers you. Minseo will back off. The other families will leave you alone. You can finish your semester in peace. And if I don't want to stay away?" His eyes darkened. "Then you're more reckless than I thought." "Maybe I am." They stood there, inches apart, the Seoul skyline stretching behind them. The world felt suspended, balanced on a knife's edge. "If you stay close to me, people will target you to get to me," Tae-ho said quietly. "They'll try to use you, hurt you. You'll be in constant danger. And if I stay away, you'll be safe, normal. Everything you came here for." Eleonora's heart pounded. Every logical part of her brain screamed to run, to take his offer, to go back to her simple goal of just finishing school. But another part, the part that had crossed an ocean alone, that had fought for every opportunity, that refused to back down from challenges, that part wanted to stay. Wanted to understand this dark, dangerous boy who looked at her like she was something precious. Wanted to know what it felt like to be fearless. I need time to think, she said finally. Take all the time you need. He stepped back, putting distance between them. But know this, the moment you decide to stay in my world, there's no going back. You'll be mine to protect. And I protect what's mine with everything I have. That sounds like a threat and a promise. It's both. The rooftop door burst open. Minchu stood there, his expression panicked. When he saw them together, relief and fear warred on his face. Eleonora, thank God. I've been looking everywhere for you. He rushed forward, positioning himself between her and Taeho. Are you okay? Did he hurt you? I'm fine, Minchu. We were just talking. Talking? Minchu's eyes were wild. Please tell me you're not buying whatever he's selling. Please tell me you see how dangerous this is. Minchu. He's not who you think he is, Eleonora. His family, his life, it's all violence and death. You need to stay away from him. Far away. That's rich coming from you, Taeho said softly, dangerously. Tell her, Minchu. Tell her why you're really so interested in keeping her safe. Shut up. Tell her how you've been watching her since before she even arrived. How you made sure to be in that hallway when she showed up. How this whole coincidental meeting was anything but. Eleonora's blood ran cold. What? Minchu's face went pale. That's not. I didn't. You knew she was coming. Taeho continued, his eyes locked on Minchu. You knew the scholarship student would be different, interesting. You positioned yourself to be the first person she'd trust. The safe option. The good guy. His smile was cruel. How am I doing so far? Minchu. Eleonora's voice shook. Is that true? It's not what it sounds like. Minchu turned to her desperately. Yes, I knew you were coming. Yes, I wanted to meet you. But everything after that, my feelings, my concern, it's all real. I swear. Why? Her voice broke. Why would you do that? Because. He looked tortured. Because I saw your photo in the school files. Read your application essay. And I thought maybe you could be someone real. Someone genuine in this fake world. I just wanted to meet you. That's all. That's all. Eleonora backed away from both of them. You manipulated our meeting. You lied to me. I didn't lie. I positioned myself to. He ran his hands through his hair. God. This sounds so much worse out loud. Because it is worse, Taeho said. At least I'm honest about what I am. About the danger I bring. But you. He looked at Minchu with disgust. You pretend to be the good guy while orchestrating everything from the shadows. I'm nothing like you. Minchu's voice rose. I'm not a criminal. I'm not violent. I'm not. You're obsessed. Taeho interrupted. You saw something you wanted and you plotted to take it. At least own it. Eleonora's world was spinning. Everything, every conversation, every kind gesture from Minchu suddenly felt tainted. I can't do this, she whispered. I can't. She turned and ran for the door. Eleonora, wait. Minchu called after her. She didn't stop. She ran down the stairs, through the hallways, past staring students and confused teachers. She ran until she burst through the school's front doors into the afternoon sunlight, and nearly collided with a man in a dark suit. More men surrounded the entrance. Black cars lined the driveway, but these weren't Taeho's men. The one in front smiled, cold, calculating. Miss Diggs, we've been hoping to meet you. Her blood turned to ice. Who are you? Friends of the family. Just not Taeho's family. His smile widened. Get in the car. We need to have a conversation about your new boyfriend. I'm not getting in any car. Leave me alone. She tried to push past him, but his hand shot out, gripping her arm painfully. That wasn't a request. Let her go. Taeho's voice rang out across the courtyard. He strode toward them, rage in every line of his body. Behind him, his own men emerged from another vehicle. The man holding Eleonora pulled her closer, and she felt cold metal press against her ribs. A gun. One more step, Lee, and she's dead, the man said calmly. Taeho froze, his expression murderous. The courtyard had gone silent. Students watched from windows. Teachers stood frozen in doorways. Let her go, Taeho said, his voice deadly quiet. She has nothing to do with this. She has everything to do with this. The moment you claimed her, she became leverage. The man started pulling Eleonora toward his car. Now we're going to have a nice conversation about territory agreements. And she's going to make sure you listen. Tae-ho! Eleonora's voice cracked with fear. His eyes met hers across the distance. Dark, intense, full of something that looked like regret and rage and promise all mixed together. Close your eyes, he said. What? Close your eyes, Eleonora. Trust me. Do it now. The command in his voice made her obey. She squeezed her eyes shut, and then chaos erupted. Gunshots, shouting, the sound of bodies hitting the ground. The grip on her arm disappeared. Strong hands caught her before she fell. I've got you. Taeho's voice in her ear. Keep them closed. Don't look. He lifted her and carried her toward a car. She heard doors opening, felt herself being placed on leather seats. The door slammed shut. Drive. Now. Taeho's command was sharp. The car peeled away from the school. Only then did Eleonora open her eyes. Tae-ho sat across from her. Blood splattered on his white uniform shirt. His knuckles were bloody. His expression was cold, deadly, the same expression from the warehouse. What did you do? She whispered. What I had to. His eyes met hers. She stared at him. This beautiful, dangerous boy who'd just killed people to save her life. This stranger who'd walked into her world 2 days ago and turned everything upside down. Blood stained his hands. Violence surrounded him like an aura. And she should be terrified. She should be screaming, demanding to be let out, calling the police. But instead, all she could think about was the feel of his arms around her. The way he'd moved without hesitation. The absolute conviction in his voice when he'd told her to trust him. Welcome to my world, Eleonora. Tae-ho said quietly, his gaze never leaving hers. There's no going back now. The car sped through Seoul's streets, taking her further from safety and deeper into darkness. And somewhere behind them, Min-chu stood in that blood-stained courtyard, watching the girl he was obsessed with disappear into the arms of his enemy. Watching his carefully laid plans crumble to dust. Watching as the only thing he'd ever truly wanted slipped through his fingers. And in that moment, something inside Min-chu broke. Something that would push him to make choices he never thought himself capable of. Choices that would change everything. Eleonora looked at Tae-ho, at the blood, the violence, the lethal beauty of him, and realized with shocking clarity, her life would never be the same. She was no longer just a scholarship student trying to survive. She was caught between two dangerous forces. A mafia heir who'd claimed her as his. And a boy whose obsession was only just beginning to show its true face. The question wasn't whether she could survive this world. The question was, who would she become in it? What happens next? Will Eleonora embrace the darkness or fight to escape it? Can she trust Tae-ho with her life? Or is she just a pawn in a deadly game? And what will Min-chu do now that his perfect plan has fallen apart? Watch episode 2 to find out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens when Eleonora enters the heart of the Mafia underworld. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. The real story is just beginning. Drop a comment. Team Tae-ho or Team Min-chu? Who do you think Eleonora should trust? Let me know below. See you in episode 2, if you dare.